welcome to today's tutorial. This is a follow-up of the first video about data cleaning. We attempted to do some of this data cleaning in the last video, and right now I'm going to demonstrate the fact that since we have done the data cleaning, we can now go ahead and do something with it. One thing I try to do most times is, once I have this data, how do you quickly analyze it before you start using several big software packages? It's important to know that Excel can do a lot of things, although it may be a little bit cumbersome sometimes, but it offers tremendous flexibility in making a quick analysis of your data. This is just a demonstration purpose, because the end game is to come to this point where you have to do some data analysis with your cleaned data. So first things first, you have to install the data analysis Toolpak. How do you do that? You go to File, click on File. Then once you click on File, you go to Options. Now at your Options, you will come and click these add-ins, and in this add-in you will click on Analysis Toolpak and click on Go Here. So here you have several options, but the one that we're interested in right now is this Analysis Toolpak. So we check this box and click on OK. Now that will install the data analysis ribbon here, because if we go to Home, we will not see anything, but if we go to Data, we'll have it here. So what do we do with this? Data Analysis Toolpak offers a lot of flexibility in giving you some ideas about some of the statistics that you need to do with Excel. So in this pane that we have here, we see that you can do a lot of this. You can do ANOVA, you can do some correlation, some covariance, even descriptive statistics. You can do Fourier analysis, and even doing sampling. So I will demonstrate a little bit on using it for correlation, because a lot of times you will have cause to do some correlation in your data sets. I will do some descriptive statistics, and we'll go ahead and do some sampling, and I will tell you what that means. So first of all, let's choose descriptive statistics and click OK. Now what happens here is it tells you what is the input range of what you have here. So if, for example, we want to do something, want to know some of the descriptive statistics on this conductivity, we can click here and select here. That marks our range. Now note that it is telling us, do we have labels in our first row? Look at this place, we have our labels, so we'll check this box that we have labels in the first row. And then it's asking us, where do we need our outputs to be from? Do we need an output range? If you click on this output range, it will direct you to choose anywhere where Excel will dump the results for you. But if you don't want that, if you want a new worksheet, for example, it will create a worksheet here. For me, I will prefer a new worksheet, and I will name the worksheet, for example, I will name it Descriptive Statistics for Conductivity. Now, once that thing outputs, we will see that. So what results do I need to get? I need to get the summary statistics. All these for now, I don't need it. This is for demonstration purposes. You can try that out yourself. So hit on the OK button. You see that we now have a new worksheet here, named as appropriate. Now, so we have this, our data here. For example, we have it as conductivity in micro per cm here. So why are we looking at? So we have the mean here, we have the standard error, we have the median, the mode is not available, and we have the standard deviation, we have the sample variance. All these are like the kurtosis and skewness are what describes how this varies from the normally distributed data. And we have the range, we have the maximum value, we have the minimum value, we have the sum, we have the count. Of course, it's 12 items that we have analyzed here. So this is a quick way of getting these values. For example, the mean is 533. Now let me tell you how you may actually make some mistakes. For example, in case, for example, when you are trying to do your data analysis, you selected your descriptive analysis and you click on OK, and it's now telling you to select your data range. If we click here and click on this data range and click OK. And remember, we have these labels checked here, you know, and if we click OK, we'll see that what happens. You will see 482 here, which means that it has treated this as a label and not as any variable or the value that it will go. So we're having an errors data because the mean here is 538 while the mean here is 533.3. So it is important that we look out for the sources of some of this error in order for us to make very sound analysis. Also, we can analyze multiple data, for example, discrete statistics at the same time. We can analyze for example, we'll choose our range here. We are analyzing for turbidity, conductivity, and TDS at the same time. So we'll click on here. It has a we have got our input range. Yes, we have labels in the first row. Yes, we need a new worksheet ply, and in this case, we have to name it. We want to name it turbidity, conductivity, and TDS. So in this case, once it's uploaded, we are interested only in the summary statistics. We hit on OK. So we see all this coming out at the same time. So this is a fast way of having your data analyzed. So in all this, it's telling us its mean. The mean for turbidity is here. The mean for conductivity is here. The mean for TDS is here. And all this can be done. So that's one way of using this data analysis Toolpak. Also, we can use it for something. Let's go back to our sheet 1. We can also use it to, for example, this happens when you have large data sets and you just want to get a random sample of some points, especially, for example, if you want to do some you have some several coordinates and you want to do some ground truthing, like you want to go get a ground control points to actually make sure verify some of the analysis you have made on the GIS, and you want to verify it on ground, and you want to choose an unbiased sampling. So we can use sampling for that. You will click on sampling, click on OK. Now we have to highlight the data range that we need. For example, if I choose to highlight all this, now it will ask me for which kind of sampling method do I have. Do I need periodic, where you have to state the number of periods in each occurrence, or we need random? Now I will say random because I just want any random number of points that I will use in doing my ground control point. Now I have to check that my first this thing has labels. So the next thing to do now is to give it the number of samples. For example, let me say I need just 5 samples here. You know, I want it in a new worksheet, and I will name it samples. So in this case, we have it here, and we have these samples. We have 5 random numbers. If we want to compare that to what we have here, we have these only numbers. Okay, let's go back to the samples. We have 5570. 5570 is here. We have 22. So all it did was just to go here and pick these random numbers. Also, an important thing that we do most times is it's a correlation. That is how one particular variable is either correlated to another. So if we click on correlation, it's telling us what is our input range. So we want to check out the correlation that these 3 variables have. For example, turbidity, conductivity, TDS, and maybe some of these anions that are here, bicarbonate and nitrites. So we will choose this thing. Remember, we have to check that these labels are in first row, and we will now name it correlation. So what this does is it uploads a new worksheet, and we have our correlation here. So this correlation, of course, if you know what you are doing, you'll be able to interpret what this correlation means. I'm using it for demonstration purposes. I don't intend explaining too much. But you know, if you are correlating one variable against another, you have one, because it will have a perfect correlation. So what it means is that, for example, TDS here has some, normal correlation with chloride ions. And if we look for some very, very positive correlation here, we see that turbidity has a very positive correlation with carbonate. That means, for example, if the value of turbidity is increasing, also the value of the bicarbonate is increasing. And now that's how you interpret this, and that's how you get your correlation. So this data analysis Toolpak offers some very, very interesting tool to analyze our data fast and quickly. So the last one we are going to be looking at is okay, I think we have looked at all. Okay, is the regression, and you have to know what regression means. So regression, the y is the independent variable, while the x is the y is the dependent variable, while the x is the independent variable. So we will now choose what the y range is. We choose this, and we choose what the x range is, and we'll just choose this. This is just for demonstration purposes. And then do we need labels? Do we need confidence level? I mean, the labels are of course here. What is the confidence level? We don't need that. We need an output range, and that we call regression. Now there are an array of the things that you need here. You can have the residuals and all that. You can have the normal probability plots. You can have different plots. I will just check all of them to see all that you can do. It's not that we need it. It's not going to explain so much about it, but right now that's not what we need. But what is important is to know the kind of outputs that you are getting here. So we are getting some very, very interesting results. This is the regression statistics. We have the R square, which is 0.21, and that shows you how highly correlatable these two variables are. We have the analysis of variance results here, where we have our significance values and all this. So we have our p-value here and all that. So this is purely statistics, and if you understand this, if you understand what you are doing, you'll be able to explain this. But I can just tell you that this is a very, very good way of quickly, and doing this in some other software, or if you want to do them manually, might take you very, very long. But Excel provides a very fast means through this data analysis Toolpak in doing this. So that about rounds up what we are going to be doing in this part of the data cleaning process. Like I said, the data cleaning process is to make sure that you get to this point where you do analysis confidently, expecting very reliable results. In the third video, we will use some of the data sets that we have had before to actually do some little experimentation to show you how this data cleaning process can help us to quickly and effectively use our data. So thank you very much for watching.